Welcome to the Neo Operational Video Series for software version 3.7. These videos are designed for targeted instruction to get you up to speed quickly and simply. This video targets updating groups. So updating a group is not that different than dealing with queues. We generally follow the model of record to create, update to edit with queues, and it's very similar with groups. So we're going to take group 1 that was built in the recording group training video where we have 1 through 9 at full. And let's say we want to change their levels. So I put them at 60% and I would do update group 1, enter. Notice it said selected, all the channels are selected. I'm going to hit release and we say group 1 full. Perfectly fine. So from here we're going to add additional channels to the group. So I'm going to say 21 through 29 at full, and I'm going to say update group 1. Now one would think that because it says selected, that means it's only going to affect 21 through 29, and actually technically that's true. Remember, updating is all about changed information. So we're going to hit enter, we put those in, and since we've added this information, it's actually added, I hit release a couple of times, added it to the information that was already there so that it has collected, because we said update these channels and they weren't previously there. Now you may find that you want 21 through 29 to replace 1 through 9. The way I look at that is that in replacing, you're starting with a new idea, therefore you're recording. So if I really want 21 to 29 to be the only thing in group 1, then I would say 21 through 29 full, and then I do record group 1, enter. And you're going to get the dialog box that says, do you want to update this information? Which would simply add it to what's already there, and that's not what we want. Replace, which would take away all the old information and put in the new information, or cancel and replace is what we want to do. So we replace that, we'll hit release, we'll do group 1 full, and there we are. Now I also want to talk about the fact that a lot of people have gotten used to other consoles that don't do intensity information for groups, and they just are collections of fixtures. So what that means is I could say they're used to saying 1 through 9 enter, and we're going to say record group 11 enter. Now notice I did not give them a level. That's not what some folks are used to with these other desks, and now if I do group 1 11 or group 11 full, then it still works just fine. So you can build groups as you would on a typical moving light console, or you can build them the way you would on a more typical theatrical console. Remember, when you're updating a group, that it does tell you the default that you have set, which is selected, and that I can hit group again to turn that to changed. So this would take everybody that has a changed value, or I could say record live to take everybody that I'm outputting, or back to selected. So I'm going to backspace that out, and for the moment talk about changing your default. So we'll go into system properties. This is a more advanced feature, so it's not in basic mode, so I'd have to go into advanced and the show defaults, and here under group default record mode, your 3 options of selected, changed only, or live. So you could change that if you wish, and either stay in advanced mode, switch it back to basic mode, it really doesn't matter. And now when I do update group, it is going to update selected. The last thing we'll talk about is updating using the groups display, or the graphical user interface way. So I'm going to open up my group screen. You'll see that I am full screen this time. I can double click the top. That will turn it back into a floating window, or just double click, and that will restore it to full screen. So I can look at my different groups here. So I'm currently sorting by name. I'm going to sort by number, and I'm going to look at the one that we just created, which is group 11, and we can see that it has 1 through 9 in it, but it actually doesn't have any intensity information in it whatsoever. I could also look at group 2, which has 11 through 19 at 50%. I'll make the details of that a little bit larger. I'll shift arrow, hit edit 100, enter, and just change everybody that way. So you can edit this information fairly simply, either using percentage values or DMX values. You can put timing information per channel, in fact per parameter in here, which we call complex timing. There's delay information that can be set. We've got a channel grid to see what we've got. We have the ability to go to the add delete tab, and we can just type in channels to either and hit the right arrow to add them in, put them on the right side, or type it in and hit the left arrow, which will remove them or take them out of that. You also have a group command line box, so if we want to add other channels, let's say I wanted to add 10 at 100, then I could put that in there and resort as I need to. If I want to get rid of it, 10 at enter, we'll remove that. So just be aware you do have a second command line box here. You can just click and drag to select fixtures. You can just click and double click to put you into edit mode. So there are lots of different ways to change and edit the information. So thanks for watching this Neo operational video for software version 3.7. Go to the Philips Strand website at www.strandlighting.com for many more videos on Neo programming and operation.